Hello everybody, welcome to Immediate Meteorology. In this video we are going to be talking about the May through June 2020 forecast for these two next months, including precipitation, temperature, etc. So right off the bat, we are looking at our main sections for potential of different things. So first we'll go ahead and start with the big area off to the west. Hot and dry conditions, not something very new we see around here. And also it's very similar to my spring and summer 2020 forecast. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do so. Northeast of hot and dry, we're looking at heat waves around the Rocky Mountains area and Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, etc. They're looking to have a lot of heat waves, so random blasts of heat basically. And then east of that, we're looking at cool blasts covering a lot of the mid-north of the United States. It's kind of like heat waves, except the opposite, obviously. Instead of being hot, it's cold, so at random times, all of a sudden, it becomes very, very cold. Now, south of that, we're looking at the severe weather areas. That's actually pretty big these two next months. We're looking at Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, all almost covered completely. About half of Mississippi, Tennessee, maybe a quarter of Alabama, and a third of Texas. Even Nebraska, Illinois, and Kentucky getting some of that. That's where we'll see most of the potential for tornadoes, EF3 or stronger, and supercell development. South of that, we're looking at stormy. That includes Texas, the deep south, southeast, and even a little bit of New Mexico. They're going to see some stormy conditions, maybe not so severe, but it could still be weak to strong, but not much severe thunderstorms. Now around the mid-Atlantic coast and a bit of the northeastern states, we're looking at warm temperatures, so it won't be too hot. It really won't be too cool. So those states are looking at to a very, very nice spring and summer, including North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, places like Pennsylvania, Ohio, etc. And finally, we're looking at the northeastern area of the United States, so that covers New England, upstate New York, and even getting some in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. They're looking to see above normal or above average temperatures for these next 2 months, and actually for all of spring and summer. Now we're going to go ahead and look at our temperature outlook to see which states are in below average and which states are above average. So here, now we're looking at our temperature outlook. First off, we'll start with our below average. You can see that spans really the northeastern half of the United States, including the north, northeast, New England, mid-Atlantic, and even getting some of South Carolina and Georgia, which is part of the southeast. We're looking to see below average temperatures. In that light blue right there, you can see 2 to 7 degrees below average. And in that dark blue, you can see 8 to 12 degrees below average, which is pretty high. Now, we'll look at above average. You can see this time we have 3 different colors. First, for the regular yellow, spanning a lot of the southeast, southwest, basically almost the western half of the United States, and the southeast and deep south are getting involved with this. So that means, just like the other one, 1 to 7 degrees above normal temperature. And then that darker orangish yellow is about 8 to 12 above average temperatures, and then in the brown, soaring from 13 to even 20 degrees above average. That main area is spanning places like Washington, Oregon, California, and Nevada. It's very unusual, especially for Oregon and Washington State, with all those mountains they have, the mountain peaks, etc. Now, just to let you know, in that white area, if you're wondering, like, what about the white area? What about, like, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska? What about us? Are we below or above? You're expecting to have normal conditions if you're in that white, so that includes Montana, South Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, a bit of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and the southeastern states. Now, we're about to look at our not temperature, precipitation, lookout and forecast. So, that white is where we're going to see a lot of the below and above average precipitation, because it's around normal temperature, so they're going to get normal weather conditions. So let's go ahead and head on to that. Alrighty, now we're looking at our above and below average precipitation. Now first we'll look at our above average. That's covering all of the entirety of the East Coast, Southeast Coast, Gulf Coast, etc. Covering much of the Appalachian Mountains and the Deep South and Midwest. So that light green you see there is about 2 to 3 or 4 inches more of rain than usual. And then that dark turquoise-ish green, we're looking at 5 or above for inches wise and more than normal. That spans, like I said, a lot of states, basically the southeastern half of the United States. And like I said in the previous one, the white means you're going to have about normal precipitation, about the same amount of inches you usually get, so don't worry. Now for the below average, that regular yellow, spanning really the north western half of the United States. That's about 1 to 4 or 3 inches below average. But really when we're looking at below average, it's more like only half an inch, 2 inches, around there for the yellow. But then for that brown and dark brownish area, we're looking at very below average, so 2 or more inches below average precipitation. Now, we're gonna go ahead and look at a future SPC outlook that I made. This will be, I'm pretty sure, in 5 days. So this is a very future one. This is going to be updated multiple times. You'll see different videos coming out. So stick around for this. You won't want to miss it. Let's go ahead and head over to that. Alright, now you can see we're looking at the United States map, or at least some parts of it. And then you can see that this is actually my own prediction, looking at models and the SPC forecast itself. So first you can see that regular T-storm or thunderstorm risk spanning all the way from Montana down into and through Texas and Oklahoma, and even New Mexico getting into that. And then we have a marginal risk for places like Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, a bit of Arkansas and Texas, etc. And then so far, our highest risk that I have and that the models are showing is a slight risk. So that mainly is going to be for Oklahoma and Kansas, and then even a bit of Missouri and Texas getting in on that weather and severe storms. It would be likely and is still likely that a enhanced risk will be put in place, but remember, this is still 4 or 5 days ahead, so it's not perfectly right. It could even go up to a high risk, who knows. Still a lot of days to figure that out. Now that's it for this video. I absolutely thank you guys for watching through this whole video. Subscribe and hit the bell if you like weather content like this, and if you want more updates and forecasts just like this video. I hope you and your family are all safe during these hard times and during this crisis of coronavirus and all these severe storms that are going through. So I absolutely thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.